Wyatt Six and their story with MFT has really taken a big step forward. We'll also check out what's going on with Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and more. Starting things off with the latest for the Wyatt Six and MFT. This is a feud that's been going on for a long time now, and it all started when Solo Sikoa made it known that he wanted to bring those tag team titles back to his family. So that ignited issues with the Wyatts, and things only got more and more personal from there on. We saw both Solo and Uncle Howdy taking jabs at each other for their lack of families. Solo Sikoa slammed Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six, saying how they're not even a real family, and how they do not even deserve to use the Wyatt name. Uncle Howdy fired back with a similar argument, saying that MFT was not Solo's real family, and how his real family members want nothing to do with him, and how they've pretty much exiled him out of their lives. Which is another deep jab and true point by Uncle Howdy. Solo Sikoa may view MFT as his family, but his true brothers, the Usos and his cousin Roman Reigns, have all pretty much disowned him, and Solo's on the outside looking in right now for when it comes to the Bloodline family. So massive deep jabs on both sides of the feud that's been very slow picking up steam as the time goes on. The biggest and most significant moment in the feud so far took place during a recent edition of Smackdown that saw Solo and MFT once again pin and defeat Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. But things did not end there after the bell rung. Solo Sikoa decided to steal the Bray Wyatt lantern that Uncle Howdy always carries and walked out of the arena with it. It was the most disrespectful thing in the world for Solo's character to do, but he still did it. That lantern is basically what started it all for Uncle Howdy, the Wyatt Six, and the entire Wyatt universe. That was Bray's lantern, and he used it in his own early days in WWE and all throughout his career. That lantern also kicked off Uncle Howdy's current run in WWE. The first ever teaser for Uncle Howdy returning back in spring 2024 was a clip of that lantern getting picked up by Uncle Howdy. And ever since then, Uncle Howdy has always had that lantern in his possession for every single one of his WWE appearances over the last few years. It's a piece of Wyatt family history, and obviously a symbolism of Bray Wyatt's presence over Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. So for such a significant item that has so much meaning behind it to get stolen, that is an absolutely massive deal. This whole situation with the stolen lantern is something that's been continuing off screen as well. With WWE currently overseas on a big tour, there's been a lot of house shows taking place over the last few days. And at all these house shows, Solo Sikoa and MFT have been making their entrances and appearances with the lantern still being in their possession. Solo has been marching his way to the ring for all these live event shows with the lantern in his hand, holding it how Bray Wyatt did. Obviously, the Wyatt Six have not been able to get the lantern back from MFT at these house shows. The big moment that the Wyatts getting the lantern back is definitely not going to happen at a live event. That's something they'll save for a televised edition of Smackdown. So that will be the big immediate goal for Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. They got to do whatever it takes to get that stolen lantern back in their possession. The Wyatt Six are already a scary threat to deal with, but the fact that someone stole the Bray Wyatt lantern from them, that should really make the Wyatt Six take it to a whole other level for their intensity. So Uncle Howdy's not going to let Solo Sikoa keep a hold of that lantern for long, and we'll most definitely see the Wyatts start working on a plan to get it back. What's also interesting here is that both sides basically have something that the other side desperately wants. Solo Sikoa and MFT have a lantern in their possession, which we already know how badly the Wyatt Six want it back, but the Wyatt Six have the tag team titles in their possession, something that MFT desperately wants as well. So that's another potential route to go in here. Solo Sikoa could use the lantern as leverage and as a bargaining item to get MFT another tag team titles match against the Wyatt Six. Maybe that's the one way that Solo Sikoa would consider giving the lantern back. And it seems possible that the Wyatt Six and MFT could exchange those items that they both have right now. The Wyatt may get the lantern back, but they could lose the tag team titles to MFT. The Wyatts have been tag team champions since July. They've had a very healthy 6-month-long title reign, so it's possible that WWE is getting ready to move those titles onto someone new. So this Wyatt Six and MFT feud is definitely not over, and we'll have to see how it continues to play on with the lantern and with the tag team titles as well. Speaking of the tag team division, things continue to be on fire for the women's tag team division. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are the new champions, two beloved babyfaces that electrify live crowds all over the world. But now as the champions, they have a lot of these teams coming right for them. and the new #1 contenders for the women's tag team titles were just crowned on Raw. Those #1 contenders being Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. It's a fresh tag team matchup that has a lot of history, especially from the side of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Liv and Rhea were involved in a major feud with each other in 2024 that ended with Rhea beating Liv for the world title, and they haven't really came face to face with each other since. So now that the tag team feud reignites those issues right there between the two of them, this also gets Liv's plans back on track to get the Judgment Day running Monday Night Raw again. Liv's plan got off to a bumpy start with Raquel pretty much going rogue a little bit there, but Liv and Roxanne have been bonding as a tag team now, and now they're #1 contenders. So everything's going right for them at the moment. And there's of course two big ways for this all to go for Liv and Roxanne. They can either be successful, win those tag team titles, and bring them back to the Judgment Day, or things will fall apart and they'll end up losing the tag team titles match. Maybe they can lose through miscommunication with each other, or maybe Raquel Rodriguez will be the one to come out there and indirectly cost Liv and Roxanne the tag team titles. Definitely a lot of different ways to take the match in. There's also been reports going on lately that Liv Morgan will have some major plans coming up in the coming months. That's something that continues to be rumored, so you gotta wonder what those big plans for Liv Morgan are all about. Could those big plans be in regard to a tag team title reign, or could even the women's world title be in Liv's future? They did tease Liv versus Stephanie during Liv's first week back on Raw several months ago, so we gotta keep that in the back of our heads because they could revisit that at any time. So it's definitely gonna be a busy year for Liv Morgan. We get to see her reignite with her rivalry, Rhea Ripley, through this tag team feud. A potential match with Stephanie, and who knows if things could get sour for her relationship inside of the Judgment Day with Raquel and Roxanne as well. So expect Liv Morgan to continue this feud strongly, and she could have a lot of major stories and feuds revolving around her. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.